What's up, Taiwan? I'm Xiaoliuqiu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's constitutional court says it needs more time to consider a case calling into question the legality of the death penalty. It heard the case brought by death row inmates in April. The court was initially meant to give its judgment by next week, but now it's extending that time until September at the latest. Louise Watt reports on this landmark case.
55-year-old Xiaoliuqiu regularly gets letters from prisoners in Taiwan complaining of injustices. They write to him seeking help, believing he will understand. Xu spent 12 years on death row here for the kidnap and murder of a businessman, a crime he did not commit. He says that every night in his cell he would dress in smart clothes prepared by his family, awaiting his execution.
台湾老一辈有一个传统，就是你人死了，身上要走，身上那一套衣服要新的，因为台湾是没有通知你什么时候要执行，所以你每天都有可能，他来带你去执行。大概10点多，主管会跟你说啊，今天应该没有，可以睡觉，他再脱下来。
Now exonerated, the former truck driver works for a non-profit, advocating for judicial reform and an end to capital punishment, a cause that has recently been brought to court by the 37 prisoners still on Taiwan's death row. Here at the Constitutional Court, lawyers for Taiwan's death row inmates argued that the punishment is unconstitutional, that it goes against the right of existence that's enshrined in the country's constitution. The landmark hearing also heard from the government, which argued that the issue of the death penalty should not be decided by a court, but by legislators. Over the years, neither of the main two political parties has moved to abolish the death penalty, which has strong support among the public. According to surveys commissioned by the Justice Ministry, around 80% of Taiwanese want to keep the punishment. Constitutional law expert Jimmy Xu Jiaxin, who gave an advisory opinion to the court, says Taiwanese society is not ready to abolish the death penalty.
As a post-Confucian society, by that I mean, we still have some Confucian legacies. And if you dig into the traditional Chinese law, it's quite clear that, especially with regard to the most serious crimes, the retributive aspect of punishment is quite clear.
But the number of executions in Taiwan has gradually gone down since the country transitioned in the 1990s from authoritarianism to democracy. And no executions have been carried out since 2020. The Constitutional Court was meant to make its decision on the abolition of capital punishment by next week, but it has now announced it will delay this for a maximum of 2 more months. Xu was released in 2012, but in the 12 years that he was on death row, Taiwan executed more than 40 people. He still has nightmares, and to him it's clear the death penalty should not exist.
你死刑，你如果被执行，就无法恢复了嘛，对吧？生命失去就失去了，所以你不知道过几年以后又有几个是冤枉，没有人知道，没有人知道。
Every day after work now, Xu goes for a walk, with no plan in mind and no set course. He says his years behind bars have taught him to cherish what he has today. The freedom to walk outside, his family and his life. Klein Wong and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
New law says companies can no longer force workers over 65 to retire. As John Van Terf reports, some workers and business groups are happy with it. But labor rights activists worry tighter rules on getting a pension could follow.
Wu Caihui is one of the older workers at this fast food restaurant, but she's gotten used to the demands of the work here. And thanks to an amendment to labor laws passed Monday, her employers can't force her to leave if she wants to stay on past retirement age at 65, as long as she can still do the job.
我想说，还是给自己一个机会来尝试看看，就在这个工作的当中慢慢调试，尽量让自己跟上工作的那个步伐。
While employers and workers can negotiate the terms of continued employment, one thing is guaranteed. Employers cannot cut the pay of workers just because they're past 65. Anyone who does so can be fined up to $46,000. An amendment to a separate law also passed Monday guarantees guidance for older workers who can't stay and retraining for a new job within 2 years of retirement. A stubbornly low birth rate means Taiwan's population is aging rapidly, creating both a worker shortage and pressure on the pension system. With these new guarantees in place, some people and business groups see older workers staying on the job longer as a positive.
如果这个企业认为说他有这个需要，对方也认为他身体还很健康，要继续延退，都没有什么问题嘛。因为目前来讲，大家身体健康，整个寿命也延后了。
But some labor groups are concerned. The amendments don't change the current pension system, but activists worry stricter rules about pensions may not be far off.
那是不是退休金的请领条件我们也随之延后？那我觉得这就会对劳工的权益真的很有伤害。那到时候甚至整个全国劳工的反弹的声音应该会更大。
But the government still hopes to encourage older workers to stay at their posts, with plans to offer support to companies and set further guidelines to help society adapt to the realities of an aging population. Joseph Wu and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
With the Paris Olympics fast approaching, Taiwan's women's weightlifting team is gearing up to represent the country on the world stage. Among those going, experienced lifter Guo Xingchun is hoping to overcome injuries and bring home gold. Wesley Lewis reports.
Keeping her eyes on the prize, Taiwanese weightlifter Guo Xingchun is aiming for gold at this year's Paris Olympics. She's working against a string of past injuries, but she says her recovery has been promising.
目前状态是越来越好啦，对，但是教练团这边会压着走，对，就不要让我太快的去冲，对，然后目前几成这比较不好去说，但是我觉得信心是越来越好。
A physical exam last year revealed a waist injury, which took Guo some time to heal from before she was able to compete in the Hangzhou Asian Games in October. Now she says recovery is her top priority.
自己的状态要调好了，因为没有状态，你也没办法去跟人家尬，对，所以现在还是把重心放在自己的身上。
Last year, Guo started training with a new coach, Gao Kaiwen. Her other coaches say his new training plan is helping her improve her weaknesses.
新准的展体非常好，但是他的下蹲略显不足。他最弱的地方刚好是高教练最强的地方，所以请他来就是来弥补我之前训练的不足。
Guo was able to rest her injuries while training with Coach Gao. She says she's determined to continue competing as long as her body allows it.
还能举的话，我还是会继续举。
In 2021, Guo won a gold medal at the Tokyo Olympics. Paris will be her fourth time competing in the Games, and the aim is that she can once again come out on top. Kama Xu and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
15 elementary school students from an island off the east coast of Taiwan have been certified as Little Patrol officers. The students from Xiaoliuqiu have been using their summer vacation to record turtles nesting. They've also been educating tourists about the importance of cutting down on bright white lights at night, which can disturb the animals. The young officers also went to see a green sea turtle released back into the wild after getting tangled in a fishing line last year. It had been receiving treatment for over 180 days and made a full recovery. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, take a look at the Sand Sculpture Festival in Russia. I'm Sani Chi. Take care and see you next time.